In the United States, Congress has delivered a cross-party rebuke to President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada.
On this vote, the yeas are 219 and the nays are 211. The joint resolution is passed. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Last night, the House voted on a resolution aimed at stopping Trump's broad 35% tariffs on Canadian goods, and 6 Republicans joined the Democrats to pass it. Now, even if the Senate also passes a resolution, Trump can veto the measure, but it's still drawn Trump's anger. As the vote closed, Trump posted, "Any Republican in the House or the Senate that votes against tariffs will seriously suffer the consequences come election time, and that includes primaries." Adding, "Tariffs have given us economic and national security, and no Republican should be responsible for destroying this privilege." Last night, CNN asked 2 of the Republicans who broke ranks about Trump's fury.
Well, I've got to represent my district, and Canada and the state of Washington have very close trading relationship. It's valuable, and a lot of Canadian-owned businesses are in my district that hire a lot of people.
At the end of the day, I looked at the Constitution, I looked at what was in the best interests of my district, and I took the vote. It's not easy, but it's the right thing, and I stand by it.
Are you worried about getting the wrath from the president?
We'll see. I mean, listen, I do the right thing, and what the consequences are, we'll have to see.
Joining me now is the Democratic representative who introduced the resolution in the U.S. House. That's New York Congressman Gregory Meeks. He is the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, it's good to meet you. Thank you for being here today, sir.
Good to be with you, David.
You are a Democrat, so I'm not surprised that you voted the way you voted, but 6 Republicans supported your resolution to rein in Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada. What message do you hope that sends to the president?
That Canada's our friend. Canada, there's no emergency with Canada of drugs coming in through the borders, that we work collectively together, that we want to remove these 35% tariffs that he's placed on our friend, our ally, those that have sent individuals to fight for the United and with the United States, whether it's in Afghanistan or World War II, many wars. We want to make sure that the president understands that we're not going to allow him and his ego to hurt our relationship with our friends and our allies in Canada.
Do you think that is the message the president took from the vote? Because he did have some social media posts threatening political consequences for the Republicans who broke ranks, suggesting they could face challenges in the primaries. What message do you think he actually took from what happened?
Well, what I do believe is I think he's starting to see the message on the ground with the American people. So you've got to realize that this president, based upon his ego, causing trying to have a disruption in the relationship that we've had with our friend and ally to the north of us, over 60%, 62, 63% of Americans disagree with him. They disagree for a number of reasons. Number one, it's bad for our economy in the United States of America. It makes things more unaffordable. But number two, it's bad with our foreign policy, where we are treating our allies as if they are our adversaries, and then treat our adversaries as if they are our allies. I mean, I just heard the president talk about how great the relationship he has with China now, as opposed to what he's doing and working with our ally, Canada. I mean, I just think it's disgraceful, even opening a bridge that Canada, by and large, completely financed, that helps our 2 countries. To not allow that is just ridiculous. And I think that's the message that he's starting to receive from the American people and hopefully for more Republicans also.
You introduced this resolution, though, nearly a year ago, Congressman. It was March of 2025, I believe, but Speaker Mike Johnson, he sort of blocked it from ever coming to the floor and getting to a vote. I know there was a vote earlier in the week that allowed it to get to this point, and 3 Republicans, I believe, broke ranks then. What is your sense of just how much control Speaker Johnson still has in his ability to thwart moves like this as Congress tries to assert its constitutional authority on trade?
I think that is starting, that members are starting to see on the Republican side where their constituents are. And so they're not going to blindly just follow Donald Trump and his ego, that they're going to do and listen to their colleagues. Look, I got to tell you, there are some that are my Republican colleagues that are intimidated by Donald Trump. They would tell me privately that they disagree with these tariffs. And so what I hope and what I'm trying to do is to show and incentivize them to do what they know is the right thing to do. And that is to get rid of these illegal tariffs that's been placed upon Canada.
I'm in no way trying to diminish the efforts and the success of getting this through, but from here it's got to go to the Senate, and the president can always veto it unless it gets a two-third majority in the House and the Senate, that veto-proof status that is required in your system. I mean, is that possible right now, or is that something that has to wait for a potential Democratic landslide win in the midterms?
Well, I can say that the Senate has already voted twice on removing the tariffs to Canada, and they passed in the Senate. Now we've got to get both of the bills, to be exactly alike, and so we're going to work. And I hope the Senate does what the Senate does and agree with us on this matter, so that we can get it to the desk and compel the president to either sign it or veto it, and the American people will then see where everybody stands. But look, it's really important to have these votes on the floor. You're correct in that the Speaker tried to block it previously on the procedural rules. But the United States Constitution says that the power of tariffs belongs to the Congress. We cannot, in the Congress, just give away that responsibility and give away that authority to the executive branch, who is a separate but equal branch of government. And I think that message, even if he vetoes it, is a very important message to him, and will, I believe, give the courage to other Republicans to decide it's time for them to stand up for what they know is the right thing to do, and know that it's important to continue to support our great ally, Canada.
You know, on this side of the border, I think there's a pretty widely held view that all of this is kind of, if not permanently, pretty close to permanently changed the view of Canadians towards the United States of America and the relationship between the two countries. We saw a big speech from the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, when he went to Davos last month, where he said great powers like the United States are using economic integration as a weapon, and talked about the old order not coming back. I mean, how do you view it? What do you think the view is in the United States about whether this relationship is permanently and maybe irreparably damaged?
Well, I hope not. That's why I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that they understand that the overwhelming number of members of Congress and the American people want to make sure that our relationship is repaired. And I know it may take time to trust and feel comfortable again, but I'm confident because, the length of our relationship and to understand that this is one person that has caused the kind of eruption that has taken place now with Canada and our European allies, our Asian allies all over the world. But we got work to do, quite frankly. And that's why, I was hoping to go to Munich, to the Munich Security Council, so that we can speak to allies. I know some Canadians may be there, Europeans may be there. Anything that we can do, I think it's important for us to also have more parliamentarian to parliamentarian dialogue and conversation. We've always enjoyed having conversations with the parliamentarians from Canada when they come to visit the United States, and us to visit them, and so that we can have those dialogues and understand what we need to do to fix and repair the relationship. And I think the vote that we took place yesterday is an indication of that. We do plan to do just that.
Right. There is a Canadian delegation at the Munich Security Conference that you referenced. The Prime Minister canceled his trip because of the tragedy in the school shooting here in Canada, but there are Canadians there to have many of those conversations. As a final point, Congressman, in the debate on the resolution on the floor, you just rejected the idea that these tariffs were imposed by the president to deal with fentanyl and to deal with drugs and some of the issues that he has raised, that the Canadian officials say is essentially a pretext to name a national emergency as a justification for using the powers. If it is not truly the stated reason of the president, what do you think his end goal really is with slapping tariffs on so many of his trading partners and allies?
I don't know. I think it's his personal ego. I mean, he started out by insulting Canada, saying it's the 51st state, and doing everything he seems that he can to poke a finger in our allies' eye. It's something that is his ego. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it, and I'm going to speak out against it, as I'm sure most Americans have and will continue to do. what that motivation is. It doesn't help Americans, that's for sure, because it's destroying our economy. It's making things more expensive, whether you're talking about coffee or you're talking about beef or you're talking about utilities or electricity or healthcare. It's making everything more expensive for Americans. So it doesn't make sense. We are destroying a relationship with a friend and an ally, and we're hurting the American people economically. It just doesn't make sense.
Congressman Gregory Meeks of New York. It was good to meet you, sir. Thank you for your time today, and good luck with the debates and votes ahead.
Thank you for having me.